today we're going to be talking about, as a new segment that I'm going to be on, is finding Boaz. It's going to be the Tinder edition. But before I go any further, I'm going to go into intense detail about who Boaz is and what Tinder is and why the two even correlate at all.
People wonder, is he woke or just a new slave? Or religion, he just covered it with new change. Trapping out the church, he ain't really fake. He divisive, he don't rep the king, he just want the fact. Oh man, now they acting like I'm suddenly political.
And I'm pretty sure all you guys have heard about who Boaz is. Boaz this, Boaz that. Who was he? And why is he even relevant to today's topic? Why is Boaz relevant? I mean, every woman wants them a good man. Every woman wants them somebody that's going to treat them well, going to do them right. We all want that. We all deserve that. And me being single, I am in need of a good man. But I mean, we always say things that we need, but do we really need it? You know, I'm an independent woman. I don't need no. Okay, just kidding. Just kidding. God made Adam and Eve. They needed each other, so I need my Adam, you know what I mean? I need my Boaz. Alright, first let's go into detail, guys. Who is Boaz? Boaz is a man in the Bible who is of good character. A lot of people nowadays, you know, look to Boaz in his characteristics to determine if they want to be with somebody. Do they have that Boaz characteristics? And we're going to talk about what kind of characteristics Boaz possessed. Okay, first question, who is Boaz? Boaz is who every woman wants and every man should want to be like. Boaz is the GOAT. And we're going to talk about some of the characteristics. How do we know he was a good man? And how is he mentioned in the Bible? How is he viewed in the Bible? And we're going to start off looking in the story of Ruth. I talked about Ruth in the Virtuous Woman video. If you haven't seen it, I beg you, plead for you to go check it out because it's very informational about how we can be virtuous women in 2018. And how Ruth correlates with Boaz. It wouldn't be no Boaz without a Ruth. It wouldn't be no Ruth without Boaz. Alright guys, I want you guys to turn it to Ruth, the 2nd chapter, verse 12. And the first characteristics that we know that Boaz possessed, it was that he was kind. And that's a characteristic that we should search for in all of our men. He was very kind to her. So Ruth chapter 2 verse 10. Then she fell on her face and bowed unto herself to the ground and said unto him, Why have I found grace in thy eyes, that thou shouldest take knowledge of me, seeing I am a stranger? So Ruth was a stranger to Boaz. And a little bit background on Ruth. She lost her husband, and instead of leaving, she was a widow, and so instead of leaving her husband's mother alone, because she had lost her husband, she had also lost her kids, and her name was Naomi. So instead of Ruth leaving Naomi, she decides to stay with her, and they decide to go back to the land of Naomi. And while she's there, she's a widowed woman. They don't have much money, they don't have much in the situation, but she decides to stay with this woman, with this widow. There's 2 widows trying to find their way through. So Boaz come into play when she's going out into a field trying to get food. And he's being really kind to her. And instead of, and he sees the potential that she held. And chapter 2, verse 5, he asks his servant, who is that damsel? So he's seen that worth in her. Even though she was in a bad position, he's seen that the value that she holds. Instead of him looking down on her like, yo, who is that woman going through my garden? Okay, whatever. I'm horrible in protections. Alright, whatever. But he's seen the good that was in her. And that's a characteristic that we must consider when we're looking for our Boaz. Does he see the worth in me? Does he see the potential that I hold? Does he see me being greater? And Ruth, the
3rd chapter, verse 11 reads, "And now, my daughter, fear not. I will do to thee all that thou requirest, for all the city of my people doth know that thou is a virtuous woman." So everybody in the city, they knew that she was a virtuous woman. They knew she carried herself well. They knew that she was a widow, but decided to stay with her mother-in-law in spite of everything. And he also says that he would do everything that is required. Allow that to be a characteristic when you're looking for your Boaz. Is he considerate of everything that I am? Does he want to put forth effort to make this relationship work? Is he a Boaz? Question that in your relationship now or your future relationship. Does he possess the characteristics of a Boaz? He was very considerate, and that verse really got me. He said, "Fear not. I will do all that thou requires." All that he or she wanted for him or in their relationship, he said he would do whatever it takes to make it work. And that should be one of the main characteristics not only the man should possess, but you should possess. Are you doing whatever it takes to make this relationship work? Boaz's goals, I'm telling you. And he also, another characteristic that Boaz possesses is that he let her know his intentions. So even in that verse, chapter 3, verse 11 of Ruth, he let her know of his intentions. Not only does he is kind to her, he knows her value, he let her know his intentions. He says it that he wants to marry her. But alright guys, one of the most favorite things that Boaz does is in chapter 2, verse 14. And he says unto her, "At dinner time come down hither, and eat of the bread, and dip down muzzle in vinegar, and sit beside the reapers." And he reached her parched corn, and she did eat, and was sufficed, and left. So he takes her out to eat, and then she leaves. He don't require her to go anywhere else with him, come Netflix and chill with him. He just, let's go on a date. Let me get to know you. And then you can leave. Like, I've never been on one of them dates where they don't test me. Like, thank you, Boaz. So, another characteristic is to take her out, wine and dine her, and let her go home. Okay? I'm just kidding. Alright. And then we also know that he is considerate. We know that he's kind. We know that he considers her feelings and her emotions, and he takes her out to eat. He treats her well. So these are all characteristics that we know that Boaz possessed. But how and why am I talking about Tinder with this? Alright guys, now it's time for story time. Okay, so a few of my friends, they have had successful relationships with dating online, so I was like, okay, well, let me try it out, like, just to experience it, just to know, like, what is it about? Like, okay, so I chose Tinder out of all of Formers Only, ChristianMeet.com, BlackPeopleMeet.com. No, I chose Tinder because it's mostly like what college students have anyway. So I come across like a lot of great people. Do they meet Boaz characteristics? Probably not, but I'm not going to be judging. But I'm going to tell you guys what I like about Tinder and what I didn't like about Tinder. Okay, while it's kind of low-key judgy because we're swiping left, we don't think they're attractive, and we're going by a bio and then we're going by their picture. Like, is that not judgy? But I mean, actually, like in real life, we're low-key judgy because nobody's gonna approach you if they find you attractive without knowing anything about you. So at least Tinder offers you a little bit of description. The bios are hilarious on Tinder. I'm not gonna sit here and down people that chose to be on Tinder because I did it myself, but it's a very interesting site. It's an experience. But I actually came across a really nice guy. We went to Chipotle. See, he knocked out one of Boaz's characteristics. He took her out to eat. Which Chipotle is literally my favorite restaurant. Like, forget Chick-fil-A. I mean, no, don't forget Chick-fil-A. I love Chick-fil-A too. But listen, Chipotle is my favorite place to eat. So we go there, you know, he's really sweet. He opens the door for me. Let's stretch Chipotle out, like forget all that. He opens the door for me. I literally never had that happen. Maybe I'm like one of them girls that's not used to being treated well, but you know, I'm not gonna sit here and bash the guy that I've been with, trying to say they didn't treat me well. They could use some work, but you know, whatever. But he opens the door for me. You know, he genuinely asked about my day. Let's not forget, guys, I've been in really good relationships. I've been with people who is very considerate. I've been with amazing people, but this guy legit's like super sweet. He meet all of Boaz characteristics, but you know, I'm not gonna give out his personal information. I'm not gonna, you know, I'm not gonna go there. I'm not gonna give you all his names. So I can follow him on Instagram and Snapchat, and that's what I'm about to do. But you know, needless to say, we didn't work out. He lacked the one thing that Boaz had that I haven't mentioned, and this is probably like the fifth characteristics. But had a relationship with God. Boaz had a relationship with God. Boaz knew God. He knew the intentions. He knew the law of the time. And that's just literally what this guy lacked that I had met on Tinder. You know, but you know, like, I understand that people have different beliefs, and I'm not coming over here to knock anybody's religion, but I'm a firm believer in God, and that's the one thing that he lacked. And he just didn't believe in what I believe. He didn't believe in the Bible. He didn't believe, but he believed in heaven and things like that. And me being who I am, I think the two correlate. There's no, you know, because God said in his word, in the beginning was the Word, and the Word was God. Like, and the Word became flesh. Like, Jesus is the Word. Like, so we didn't work out, and he said that he could tell in knowing me and getting to know me that church, religion, God is all very important to me. You know, so I'm not here to tell you don't try out Tinder. Definitely go. There are really sweet people on there. I end up deleting it after 2 weeks. After it didn't work out with me and him, I end up deleting it. I'm just gonna do it the old-fashioned way, like let a brother roll up on me, like. But you know, I truly believe that my Boaz is out there somewhere. I'm going to start uploading, probably on my Instagram, uploading prayers for my future husband. I've seen a lot of YouTubers starting to do that. I'm seeing a lot of Instagrammers do that. Not doing it because they're doing it, but doing it because, like, it's so deep. Like, I'm praying for my future husband instead of, you know, just waiting for him. I'm praying for what he's going through now. I'm going to pray for him before he even gets to know me. So it was a great experience, Tinder was, and me knowing what type of man I now know, what type of man I want, what type of man I need, and it all works out to what I know that God has for me. And I felt like another reason why Tinder didn't work out for me, because I feel like I was going out looking for my Boaz. Like Ruth, you know, though they didn't have internet back then, she didn't go looking for him. He approached her, he engaged her. So that's one thing that we have to remember. Like, I'm not saying don't get you a dating site, because that somehow could work out that you're not really approaching. I don't know how to make that work, but I just feel like I should wait to be approached. I feel like a woman should be, you know, preparing herself, and I think being in singleness is the best time to prepare yourself. And me being 21, I know I don't look like I'm 21 at all. I get like I'm 16 all the time. Anyway, but me being 21, like, this is the time for me to find myself. This is the time for me to create and become the woman that God has called for me to be. And it's a scary time, because you're seeing everyone else around you succeeding. You're seeing everybody else in relationships. You're seeing so much going around. But really, this is just time for you just to see yourself. You seeing you and God. You focusing on you and God. Stop looking at what other people have. Stop looking at people's relationship goals. Because the same people who are titling their relationship goals are the main ones going through it. And I don't think relationships should be I don't force. I feel like, you know, it should be something that God put in place, something that God have ordained. So, you know, I'm just gonna wait for my Boaz. You know, maybe he's somewhere on Tinder, you know, maybe he is. or, you know, I'm just gonna wait for him to come my way and not me create my own relationship, because that's when I all messed up. I've learned that from past experience. That's when things fall apart, when I'm forcing it myself, when I'm trying to convince someone to love me right. I'm trying to convince someone to see me how Boaz saw Ruth, and that's relationship goals. Boaz and Ruth were relationship goals. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Please like, subscribe, follow me on Insta, do whatever you gotta do, and also please share so more people can hear. And I definitely need to do more story times. It's low-key funny, or I think I'm funny, whatever. See you guys.
You see right through the mess inside me, and you call me out to pull me in. You tell me I can start again, and I don't need